Well, greetings, everyone. I want to thank you for tuning in with us for our first segment dealing with this whole idea of self care. We know how important self care is during this season, this time of our pandemic. And I think it's very important that we talk about this issue because it's relatable to what many of us are dealing with the whole stay at home responsibilities that each of us have now. And with us today is our very own Carly Miller, who is now the founder of, or the co-founder of the ESI Foundation, which stands for Empower, Support, and Influence. And at this time, I want to introduce Carly Miller to talk a little bit about her foundation. Come on, let's welcome in Carly.
Well, hello everyone. Like he said, my name is Carly Miller, and I'm the co-founder of the SC Foundation, which does stand for Empower, Support, and Influence. The purpose of SC is to acknowledge and educate others on mental health by promoting self-care through hobbies. So our goal was to do a new hobby once a month, but that hasn't been working out. So we do a hobby of, whatever month we pick, and that's what we do to help promote self-care. So the one that we did in October was yoga, and we had a session that was free to the public to come to Kitty Hollow Park and learn about how yoga can help with self-care.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Carly, you being our resident person that can kind of teach us or share with some things that we need to do in terms of self-help and self-care, what are some things we should focus on during this season?
So during this season, we should focus on things that we can control and not the things that we can't control. So it's a lot going on around us that we can't control. We can't control how other people feel, how other people are choosing to deal with this pandemic. I know some people felt a certain kind of way, how those teenagers were on the beach, but those are things that we can't control. But you can control what you do to stay safe during this pandemic. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Do what you love. And so self-care is exactly what it says, taking care of yourself. Find things that you love to do. Find the joy in the little things.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Carly, also, what kind of things should individuals do who are feeling stressed? Or let me rephrase that. What about individuals who are feeling stress or feeling a sense of anxiety? How does that impact their health currently?
Okay, so when you feel stress or anxiety, one of the main things that'll end up happening is that it'll weaken your immune system. And so during this time period, we need our immune system to be as strong as it can be to fight off this virus. And so if you're stressing or you're letting this anxiety consume you and you aren't acknowledging it, then all that's going to do is end up eating you up, and you're going to start manifesting on a physical level. And that's when we start having bigger problems. And so now you're more at risk to get this disease.
Wow. So, what kind of personal activities can an individual do in terms of trying to stay with this whole idea of self care? What kind of individual activities in terms of being at home and we can't get out? What can we do around the house?
Yeah, so the first thing that I think you can do is maybe just start self reflecting. Think about things that you haven't had time to do, and now that you have the time, try and do those things. Or, that family member that you're like, I can only call some days of the week because they talk too long. Well, we have a lot of time now, so maybe call them. You can try journaling, which is something I personally love to do. Write out how you feel. How you're feeling during this time period is valid. Try and reach out to other people in the church community. The good thing about this is that we're all going through it. Corona didn't discriminate from anybody. So we're all experiencing these same feelings. And so try and talk to somebody. And when things get too overwhelming, there are resources available, such as NAMI, which is NAMI.org, and they have resources available. It's hotline numbers just for people right now during this crisis to call and talk to somebody.
Wonderful, wonderful. What do you tell an individual, Carla, who may potentially not have physical or mobility in terms of this season? What are some things that you want to point out that you think that they should do?
Okay, so some of us aren't able to do more physical things. So maybe if you're just sitting down, take deep breaths. Focus on your breathing. Try and limit how much of the news you do watch, because sometimes you become so consumed in what you see. The numbers start to really take control, and so that stresses you out. So do stuff that you love. Maybe read a book, learn something new that you can do. It's not all about being physical, you know. Yoga is just connecting the mind and the body. So if that's you just sitting down and breathing and stretching your arms, maybe just find the little things. And so on the Foundation by Essie page, we do post different activities that you can try. And so that's at Foundation by ESI on Instagram. And so you can email us if you need more of those tips, you know, to help with your physical.
Okay, Carl, here's my last question. What do you do for an individual who has tried all of those things that you prescribe in terms of physical activity? They've done some things at home. They've kind of read, they've kind of done journaling, and you know this has been going on at least 3 weeks. And they may have gotten to the place where they've gotten bored with those things. Are there anything that they can do online, or anything that they can find resources online that you know of, or anything that they can do at home to kind of help keep their mind going on the positive things?
Yeah, so definitely. So there are a lot of YouTube channels that are promoting things that you can do while you're at home. I know some of the same things get a little boring, but how the church just did with Miss Tari, a cooking class, that's a form of, you know, self-care. And so maybe learn how to cook a new recipe or something like that. But you don't have to stick to the same things, and maybe try and maintain a routine. Even though it's not going to work every day, maybe you wake up before 11. As tempting as it can be to stay in the bed, maybe you wake up and you do something. Check something off your to-do list. Just the little things will make it all better.
Do you recommend individuals changing their routine, or do you have any critique or anything that you can share in terms of helping people to share or change some of the routines that have become monotonous over a period of time?
Yeah, so definitely. So originally when this happened, I didn't have any schoolwork. I didn't have anything to do. So I was sleeping till like 12 every day, you know, just kind of doing what I want to do, watch Netflix when I feel like it. But eventually that takes a toll, because I'm like, I'm just in my room. I don't have anything to do. I can't see my friends. And so you have to develop a routine that's going to help you overall as a person. So try and engage in different things. So spiritually, maybe you pray when you wake up.
Okay.
Pray before 12, then pray, you know, at nighttime. Then, you know, brush your teeth. Do the same things that you would do, but maybe create a workspace for yourself at home. You know, you can't go to your job, but you can create your own workspace. Maybe if it's in your living room, or it even be in your kitchen, whatever works best for you. I think during this time, you have to figure out what works best for you. It's not going to look the same for everybody. So I might be able to go for a jog, but you might not be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So you might have to try something else. And so it's a lot of resources available. Maybe just even type in on Google, what are things I can do with being in the house? And I think that'll help.
Okay. You being a teenager or a young woman to be, what do you recommend for people in your age bracket in terms of the pandemic and dealing with anxiety? What are some things you did as a young lady, a young teen, young adult? What are some things that you did that you might want to recommend to them?
So with this being my senior year, I didn't get a chance to go to prom. My senior trips got canceled. So I was really upset about that. And so like I said, one of my favorite forms of self-care is journaling. But during this time period, I've been doing gratitude journaling, which is journaling the same way, but now you're writing things that you're thankful for. Things that, you know, they could be worse. I know that nobody in my class, to my knowledge, has COVID, so we still have each other. You know, we might not be able to do those same things, but maybe if you want to talk to your friends, y'all got each other's number. You know, you can FaceTime, Zoom. I know on Zoom you can watch movies with your friends. You can share the screen. So if y'all want to watch Netflix together, how you would normally do, you can do that. It'll pass. So just during this time, just try and stay positive. Look at the good. You know, they said we might be able to have our summer. So this summer, start planning things that you and your friends can do. And spend time with your family. Me and my brother, we're really close. And so we've been spending a lot of time together. He won't make any TikToks with me, which I know everybody's doing. But, you know, maybe try and get your mom to make a TikTok with you.
Okay, so finally, how has your relationship with God during this season really helped you to maintain your level of anxiety and not let that control how you deal with what's going on in the culture?
Yeah, so I had to remember that God is in control. And so at first I was kind of like, God, why? You know, this is my senior year. Why would you let this happen to me? But during this time, I've gotten so much closer to him. You know, I feel so at peace with what's going on around me because I know he has me. And so with Easter coming up, you know, he already conquered death, you know, so this is not something we have to be concerned about. He wouldn't let anything happen to us without his control. And so we know that, you know, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And so I feel like that's why I'm so at peace, and I feel that others should be at peace. He wouldn't let anything happen to us that he couldn't stop.
Wonderful. Carly, listen, it's been a pleasure to have you on our show today and this interview. I think this is a great information that you've shared today, and I think teens and parents alike can get some information and use this information. It's relevant to what we're dealing with today, and I think you've been a great help. Listen, everyone, come on, let's put our hands together wherever you are online, and let's thank God for Carly Miller and her ESI Foundation. We thank God for what you've done. And listen, lastly, can you just give some information on how they could get in touch with your foundation? Is there a website or anything that individuals could get in touch?
So our Instagram page is at the @Foundation by Essie, which is ESI. And then our email is foundationbyessie@gmail.com. So if you have any questions or you want any more tips on how you can stay proactive while being at home, feel free to DM us or email us. And my number is also on our Instagram page. So I have my phone all the time. You can feel free to text me.
Carly, thank you. And again, it's been a pleasure. So listen, everyone, I pray that you'll be able to tune in with us next time so that we can hear more about this whole idea of mental health in our next session. Have a great week.
Welcome to the session where we'll be doing a self-soothing practice. To start, settle into a position of ease with a straight back and wakeful posture. You can imagine there's an invisible string attached to the top of your head, holding you nice and tall. Allow your shoulders to fully relax. And rest your arms where they're most comfortable. Close your eyes. Smooth your brow. And feel your body relax. And then bring your attention to the state of your heart, listening inward in a gentle, compassionate way, holding a space for what's here. And now tune into the flow of your breath. Allow your mind to rest on the breath as it flows in and out of your body. Follow each breath attentively, silently recognizing each in-breath and each out-breath. And now we'll relax our attention from the breath and open to a sense of self-love and compassion. And silently repeat the following words. May I be happy. May I be safe. May my heart feel peace. And again, in your own mind, repeat these phrases, receiving each of them with a kind and open heart. May I be happy. May I be safe. May my heart feel peace. And one more time, slowly savor each word. May I be happy. May I be safe. May my heart feel peace. And now gently returning to your breath. Rest in this loving, comforting space you've created for yourself. Let your breath continue to welcome and soothe you. Allow your inhales and exhales to soothe any anxiety, worry, weariness, sadness, or pain. Very simply, very lovingly, let the breath arrive on the inhale and gently flow away on the exhale. And now gently relax your attention. While growing up, many of us never had the proper tools or guidance to deal with difficult emotions. We never learned to understand our sadness or anger. We weren't taught how to calm our anxiety or soothe our frustration. Instead, we learned to distract and avoid, to tune out unpleasant feelings with numbing, sometimes destructive behavior. But no matter what habits we developed when younger, in our adult lives, mindfulness can help us cultivate the skills of self-soothing. Through meditation, we learn how to calm our emotions and settle our nervous system. We develop self-acceptance and compassion. We learn to tenderly be with whatever arises rather than run from it. These tools allow us to care for our own hurt. So rather than seeking discomfort and distraction or destruction, remember to reach for the tools of self-soothing. Be loving and gentle with yourself, and you'll be able to hold your own heart. Give yourself space to feel and time to breathe, and become your own source of soothing comfort. As Brian Andreas said, there are days I drop words of comfort on myself, like falling leaves, and remember that it is enough to be taken care of by myself. And as we come to the end of the session, in these last few breaths, fill up your heart once again with loving kindness. And now let your awareness return to the room, hearing sounds. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes.